This is the invocation by Community Service Director Von Sullivan. The Pledge of Allegiance will be by Councilman Moore.
The wise Solomon wrote in Proverbs chapter 3, verse 13, "Blessed is the one who finds wisdom and the one who gains understanding." Would you bow with me, please? Almighty Creator, I'd ask for that blessing upon these men and women tonight. They have difficult matters before them, and I'd ask your blessing of wisdom and your blessing of discernment and understanding. Father, I'd ask that you grant that at this time. Father, I ask for personal agendas to be set aside, that their decisions that they have before them tonight would be for the good of the whole. Thank you for their service. We thank you for the blessing of service, ultimate blessing of your Son serving us by dying on the cross for our sins. And we ask these favors and blessings in your holy name. Amen.
Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I think we've got a couple of short announcements. Mr. Henson.
Just a couple things that I'd like to remind everyone. This weekend we will have our what we call the Mid-America Street Festival. It will be located down at Charles J. Johnson Central Park down in Town Center. Start at 11 o'clock in the morning and go till 6 in the evening. It'll have carnival games, bands, food vendors, and lots and lots of fun. The Community Services Director, Von Sullivan, tells me that we still are looking for volunteers, so anyone that wants to give us a hand on Saturday, we would appreciate it, and you could call our Parks and Recreation Department. Also wanted to give the sales tax report for the month of October 2015. Last year, our sales tax was $2,653,000 and some change. This year was $2,705,000 and some change. Use tax was $113,000 and it grew to $140,000, which would show us to be on the positive side by $79,000. However, that sales tax also included a catch-up from a retailer in the amount of $72,000 that was sales tax that should have been paid between November and May of 2015, November 2014 through May of 2015. So, so actually it was only a couple thousand increase. Compared to previous year, we're $241,000 ahead of previous year. However, compared to our projection, we're still below our projection by about $114,000. So,
Any other announcements? A great case came to fruition today with the MWC Police Department. Kudos to all the folks that worked on that. I remember I just returned from the FBI Academy in 1997 when the Kirsten Hatfield case happened. Rick Dawkins was a principal at Traub Elementary School, and a lot of us that were around remember that case. I know there have been some developments on that case. There's been some interest in that as well. I didn't get a chance to see the news, and so I've asked Chief Claves to come up and kind of give us a synopsis of what's transpired recently regarding that case. Keeping in mind there's things that we cannot release as it's not public knowledge at this point, but Brandon, if you'll come up and kind of give us a rundown on what's going on there.
Well, I won't take very much of your time. I don't usually do impromptu at the council meeting, but the mayor asked me to say a few words. And as you know, in 1997, we had an abduction of an 8-year-old child over on Jet Drive. We investigated. I know Mr. Bebout was working at the police station at that time, and there's been several here who were there at that time, but we've investigated that case for 18 years. And I get an opportunity to talk about our public safety tonight, and especially about our police officers. What a fantastic job they did. And it was a work of many, many people through many, many years, but we released a probable cause affidavit last night, and we made an arrest of Anthony Palma, who was a neighbor of Kirsten Hatfield, lived 2 doors down. And what we found is, as they continue to look at this case, and many of the investigators are out in the audience today that worked on this case, and they've made this agency and this city very proud of what you've done. And what they did is they looked at the evidence, they went back and re-interviewed all the males associated with the case. They were able to get some DNA evidence from an individual, Mr. Palma. OSBI did the analysis, and we had a 1 in 293 sextillion chance that this individual was the same person responsible for the abduction and possible murder of Kirsten Hatfield. So with that said, the case is just beginning, but we should all be very proud of what the men and women of the Midwest City Police Department did to bring this case to fruition. It's been a case close to my heart for many, many years, and I know Mr. Dawkins, principal at Traub School, feels the same way as Mayor does, who was over at the police department, and many here. But I think we should give these men and women a great big round of applause for a great case. Great job. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you, Chief, and thanks for everybody that worked on that case. I know we all love it when a plan comes together. It seems like we don't solve near as many of those as we'd like to, but when we're able to clear a case of this magnitude, it really makes us feel like we do a difference in the community. Next. Oh, and I've also been told that there's folks in the audience that have a difficult time hearing, and so if everyone will try to speak succinctly into the microphone. I know that's a pot calling a kettle black because I don't speak very clearly. But if we'll all try to do that, and then the audience will try to be as quiet as they can, then it'll enable those folks to be able to hear. The first item is the consent agenda. These items are placed on the consent agenda so that members of the City Council, by unanimous consent, can approve routine agenda items by one motion. If any item proposed on the consent agenda does not meet with the approval of all the council members or members of the audience who wish to discuss the proposed item with the council, then that item will be removed and heard in regular order.
Move to approve the consent agenda. Second.
I have a motion and a second to approve the consent agenda. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That motion carries. Now, discussion items.
Item discussion D1, public hearing with discussion and consideration of a resolution declaring the structure located at 2200 North Rose Drive a public nuisance as defined in subsection 27-318 of the Municipal Code and setting dates to demolish and remove the structure from the site. This item was tabled at the September 8th, 2015 council meeting. Mr. Stroh?
The property is in the same condition as it was when you saw it a month ago. It did sell to a prospective buyer after they did meet with the building official and were told that it must be demolished and rebuilt, that they could not rebuild it in its current condition. And they said they understood. The seller was here tonight and told me that he did talk with them and told them it would be a two-part deal. They'd need to demo and then rebuild. So he also shared that with the buyer. I'm asking for the resolution as you have it.
So the owner or they're not in the audience this evening?
I'm not
Do we know if they have plans to demolish it, Mike?
The seller stated that he was told that they were going to demolish, rebuild a new house, and live there.
I think that's a different deal. Oh, it is. Is there Matt Meredith, and is that what this is about, Matt? Matt Meredith in the audience?
He was the seller, and I told him he did not need to stay since we had the paperwork.
Okay. Anyone's public discussion? Anyone else wish to speak on that issue? Discussion from the council.
Move to approve.
Second.
Have a motion to approve item D1. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Are there any opposed? Motion carries.
Item D2, discussion consideration of approving a 1.3% cost of living increase retroactively effective July 1, 2015 for all employees not covered by a collective bargaining agreement. Staff is recommending a cost of living increase for all full-time and part-time employees not covered by a collective bargaining agreement. As we are still in negotiations with the IAFF, nothing has been finalized with this group of employees. As you know, we already did, the council already did approve an agreement with the FOP for what constituted 1.3 new money in their contract.
Any discussion?
Move to approve. Second.
Have a motion and a second to approve item D2. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Are there any opposed? Hearing none, the motion carries.
Item D3, discussion consideration of appointing a primary and an alternate Midwest City representative to the Regional Transit Authority Task Force. On September 22nd, you entered into a memorandum of understanding to establish the Regional Transit Authority Task Force. This item is on the agenda for you to appoint a primary and a secondary representative to represent the city on the task force.
Move to appoint the mayor and Councilman McClure to be the alternate on this.
Second.
It's a lot like getting drafted, I think.
Voluntold. I think
We have a
we call
motion
that.
and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Next discussion item is discussion consideration of approving and passing an ordinance amending the Midwest City Code, Chapter 9, Building and Building Regulations, Article 3, Building Code, Section 9-34, Code amended, subsection 108.5, approved plans by adding subparagraph B, lot inspections required prior to issuance of building permit, which shall read as indicated in this ordinance, setting an effective date and providing for repealer and severability. This item was also on the September 22nd agenda. The proposed ordinance has been reviewed by the Builders Advisory Board and has been recommended. Basically, the ordinance would provide for required lot inspections to address on-site drainage issues prior to the issuance of a building permit.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Motion and a second to approve that item. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Next item is discussion consideration of appointing 4 members to serve on the Original Mile Reinvestment Committee. At the September 8th, 2015 meeting, you established this committee and determined that it would have 7 members and appointed Mayor Collins and Councilman Dawkins and McClure to serve on the committee. We now need 4 members, additional members. I understand that you all wish to continue this item to the next meeting.
Move
So
to
we would need a
continue.
motion.
Second.
Motion and second to continue item D5. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That motion carries.
Next item is discussion consideration of approving and passing an ordinance amending Chapter 32 Peddlers and Solicitors of the Midwest City Code by amending Article 5 Special Events, Section 32-83 Special Events Defined, Section 32-84 Interval Between Special Events, Section 32-89 Permit Required, Section 32-90 Permit Fee, Section 32-91 Application for Permit, Section 32-92, Permit Approval, Section 32-94, Safety Regulations, Section 32-95, Health Regulations, and renumbering all subsequent sections in the remainder of Chapter 32 and providing for repealer and severability. Again, this item was on the 22nd agenda of September. The ordinance is intended to give Midwest City businesses and citizens greater flexibility in hosting special events. The current ordinance only allows for one special event every 6 months per city address. This ordinance amends the definition of a special event to events that are reasonably expected to attract 300 or more people and changes the frequency from once every 6 months to once a month. Events expecting less than 300 people will be allowed on private property without a special event permit. Depending on the nature of this special event, health licenses for vendors such as those selling foodstuffs and temporary tent permits will still be required. Staff has researched ordinances from other metro cities and found this proposed ordinance to be in line with the other cities in the Oklahoma City metropolitan area. The staff recommends approval.
I just want to say, Billy, you and the team did a good job on this. This is really great, so I think it make a lot of folks really happy. So thanks for doing that. A motion to approve.
Any other discussion? Have a motion and a second to approve item D6. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That motion carries. Next item is new business for public discussion. I have a prepared statement. Reference the vote of no confidence that was made public yesterday. It's an honor to serve as your mayor, and I take very seriously the responsibility that comes with that position. And this is to citizens and employees of the city of Midwest City. I had a privilege to serve our police department for over 30 years and understand the issues that are faced by law enforcement. I know that with recent events that have been publicized nationally, men and women in uniform are under increased scrutiny. Fortunately, the citizens of our community demonstrate great support for our officers, and the reciprocal is true. During my time as a policeman, I also had occasion to work fairly closely with firefighters and other city employees. They are dedicated, hardworking individuals who have a passion for doing their part to make Midwest City a great place to live, work, and play. It's understandable that each group of these employees feel that the tasks they perform are, if not the most important, very important to the community. In the time since I retired and was elected as Ward 2 councilman and now mayor, my perception has changed. I have a new understanding of all that it takes to make city government work for the community and realize that it takes everyone pulling together to make a great city. Yesterday I learned there was a vote of no confidence by police and fire labor units. Although I experienced a wide variety of emotions upon hearing this news, based on my knowledge and experience, I understand the many factors that come into play. That being said, I am equally sure that the vast majority of the community have no idea how we arrived at this position. Sales tax collections are not increasing as we hoped, and we're actually down about 3% from 13-14 to 14-15. Over the past 15 years, that's 1999-2000 fiscal year through 2014-2015 fiscal year, sales tax for police, fire, and general government increased by 51%. During that same time period, police and fire revenues from sales tax increased 64%. General government's portion was 35.5%. Salary increases for senior sergeant step on the police department pay scale was the largest increase in the department of 73%. In the fire department, the senior major step on the pay scale plan has increased by 90%. For comparison, Middale school system teachers, the bachelor step with 25 years experience has increased 38%. This being coupled with the fact that the fire department is carrying a $1.9 million debt from previous capital outlay expenditures made it abundantly clear that something had to change. Based upon recommendation from 2 fire chiefs as well as assistant chiefs, the city manager elected to close the fire station and return to 5, as was the standard at the time the city earned the ISO rating of 1. I concur with this decision. Chief Norton promoted a plan to staff headquarters station with a squad, and the end result will allow the fire department to have fewer promoted positions and ultimately more firefighters for the same money. In the event of a fire, where it is needed, the personnel at headquarters respond with a rescue squad and a fire truck. I saw this happen today. Finally, understand the labor units are outside their contractual authority to mandate how the departments are staffed and where the resources are deployed. That is the job of the police chief and the fire chief as well as the city manager. In this case, the firefighter union has chosen to make use of social media, billboards, and votes of no confidence to elicit public sympathy in the name of public safety. The community can rest assured that myself, the council, and city management share your concerns in this area. Although public safety is a high priority, it is not the only priority in the operation of this great city we serve. In conclusion, please be assured that as your mayor, my focus will remain on doing the best job I can for the entire community. If a rumored recall comes to reality, it is my obligation to ensure that the integrity of the mayor's office, the council, is a representative of all the people, not just the labor units. Sincerely, J.D. Collins, Mayor of the City of Midwest City.
I would also like to read a prepared statement, also in response to the vote of no confidence. To the citizens of Midwest City, over the past 36 years, it has been my privilege to serve the citizens of Midwest City in several capacities, most currently as city manager since 2005. During this time, I have had the opportunity to work alongside with many, many professional people in this organization, and some of them are the best people that I have ever met. Together, we have planned and we have executed on many ideas, all with the goal of improving and enhancing the services that we provide to our citizens, and to make this community a more competitive and attractive place in which to live and to work. Since becoming city manager, I have worked on and worked in conjunction and in tandem with many of our public safety officials on many funding issues and initiatives. And I've got a list here, but I'm not going to read them. I mean, it's I think those of you that know me and know what I have done here, that I have been involved with many, many, many facets of this organization. So, you know, and besides working on those things, we've accomplished a lot of great things in this town. You know, we have the premier power center development in the metropolitan area, town center, the Town Center Plaza project. We have a new sewer plant that will last us 25 years. We've expanded, and on this agenda we have a number of items pertaining to quality of life issues, whether they're sidewalks or trails. The Mid-America Street Festival, another quality of life project that's been done within the last couple years. We brought the economic development responsibilities back into the under the wing of the city, where we hope that we can see much more success. We're in the early stages of developing the Soldier Creek and Industrial Park, and we hope that we can bring new jobs to an area of the community that needs those jobs. We've worked extensively with Tinker Air Force Base in trying to develop what's called a P4 partnership that will enhance Tinker Air Force Base in the future when future BRAC rounds come to our community. You know, we worked with our IT department and with our public relations people to try to enhance communication within and to our citizens through the My Midwest City app, the Notify Midwest City alert system, the website, and social media. And we've begun an implementation of several neighborhood redevelopment initiatives that were set in place through the development of plans for those neighborhoods. You know, we've accomplished all this while tax revenues have been pretty lean and the economy has slowed. And you know, when we see Chesapeake laying off 700 or 800 more people, we know that trend is not going away on us anytime soon. It is regrettable to me that our labor unions have taken this step, but I can understand it. I truly can. But I think that our records of accomplishments are significant indicators that we place the importance of public safety very high, along with all the other services that we provide to our citizens. Thank you.
We're now open for public discussion. If anyone wishes to address the council, keep in mind, as is said in the stated policy of the city council, you limit your comments to 3 minutes. Be sure, like I said, to speak into the microphone. If you'd state your name and your address first, please.
My name is Doug Bebout. I live at 13,200 Shirley Lane. I'm the president of the Midwest City Firefighters Association. We'd like to hand these letters out to the council.
I'll start at 3 minutes when he starts talking.
To the City Council and citizens of Midwest City, the purpose of this letter is to inform you that during the week of October 5th, 2015, the Midwest City Fraternal Order of Police and the Midwest City Firefighters Association conducted a vote of no confidence for City Manager Guy Henson and Mayor D. Collins. A vote of no confidence is a statement or a vote that a person in a superior position, be it elected or appointed, is no longer deemed fit to hold that position or office. The FOP and the association conducted this vote in order to give our members the opportunity to express their dissatisfaction with the city manager and the mayor. The decision to conduct this vote was not taken lightly. However, even after voicing our concerns and objections, these two officials continue to mismanage taxpayer dollars designated for public safety and continue to reduce our ability to respond to the citizens in time of emergencies. Because of these facts, we were left with this vote of no confidence as our only option. The result of the vote is that 98% of the police officers and firefighters that serve this city of Midwest City no longer deem the city manager and mayor fit to hold their respective positions. Recent events in the community where a police officer was forced to defend his own life against an armed suspect demonstrate the very real threat that we as public safety professionals work under. This vote of no confidence is a public statement, and that statement is a simple one. We, the public safety professionals of Midwest City, will no longer tolerate city leaders whose actions increase the threat to our lives and the lives of the citizens we so faithfully serve. To the citizens of Midwest City, we want to reassure you that this vote in no way will affect our dedication to serving you. We stand ever ready, as we always have, to risk our lives to protect you and your loved ones from any threat to your safety. Signed, Archie Houston, President, Midwest City Fraternal Order of Police, and signed, Doug Bebout, Midwest City Firefighters Association. We would ask that a copy of this letter be included in the minutes of this council meeting as an official record. And yes, I would also like to take this opportunity to announce the fact that next week we will begin circulating a petition to recall Mayor D. Collins. Thank you.
Name and address, please.
My name is Ron Donnelly. I live at 12335 JC Circle in Midwest City. I had an opportunity last week to speak with Councilman Rice. Have we made any progress?
For hours and hours.
Have we made any progress?
I've been getting information, but it took out of fairness, it took 2.5 hours for you and I to even understand the math. And I have put in my request. I actually have a meeting scheduled later this week when I'm free to be able to get all of the numbers for you.
Great.
That retirement issue is more complicated than I'm able to digest.
Understand. And maybe I can help out here. Mayor Collins has suggested that we have a revenue issue. I don't think it's a revenue issue. I think it's a budget issue. And I brought up this, I guess a month or better ago, that we're now paying for firefighter retiree insurance out of the fire department budget. That started in fiscal year 2012, 2013. It had never been done that way in the past. The first year was almost $200,000. The second year was, I believe, $220 or $230, and this year's hit on the fire department budget is $355,000. Now, if you add those all together, that's over $650,000 that would be in the fire department budget today that could fund every shortage that you have for firefighters. It would also allow you to keep the current pay plan. And the thing about the pay plan, Mayor Collins, you were great to bring up percentages. You know, this council approved every contract we ever had, and it was done because this city was behind in firefighter pay compared to cities in the metro area. That's why we're able to get that pay plan. I've heard complaints about a senior firefighter step, and it's a 21% increase, but that brought that rookie firefighter up to par with firefighters within the metro area. Many of you weren't on the council at the time, and you just look at the pay plan and you think, my God, that's a gigantic raise. It can't be right. But that's what we had to do. That's what this city and council agreed upon when we put that in place. Now, the issue with the retirees' insurance, I think, is very important to look at because, well, I guess I should ask, what's the general fund right now? What's the number in the general fund that we have fiscal year 14-15? Anybody? 3 million, I think I've heard. I mean, somebody's got to know. You guys are running the city.
Mr. John, nobody has it memorized, but I'm sure that we can get it for you.
But you got 15 seconds if you want to finish up.
What number are you asking about, the total for the budget?
Well, I mean,
or
there
what's
should
in
be a
it
balance in the general
today?
fund, and you guys done the budget, and we know there's a shortfall in fire.
As of today?
What, as of what date?
What did you guys budget to be at the end? Are you not spending all the money in the general fund, are you?
Mr. Donnelly, I think the budget's on the city website. Your time's expired. Thank you very much.
Okay, I'll just use 3 million. I'll just use 3 million. Everybody in the council here doesn't realize that in 2004, this city came to the fire department and they asked the fire department to stop their budget, or I guess put a hold on their budget at the amount that they were receiving for the next 4 years. So for 4 years, the fire department froze the amount they got out of general fund. Charles Johnson was the city manager at the time, and he informed us.
Mr. Donnelly, your time has expired. Thank you very much.
Can I finish my sentence?
No, you may not. Have a seat.
Hold on.
Do we have anyone else from the audience that would wish to address the council? Anyone else from the audience wish to address the council? Bob, if you'd like to state your name and address, please.
My name's Bob Toney. Live at 116 West Ridgewood Drive. A current resident of Midwest City and a taxpayer, been here for over 20 years. I had some notes. I'm going to stray from them for just a second. I just want you to know that I'm not looking forward to being here tonight. I'm very concerned over some things that my city is doing. But I also want you to know that despite the 3-minute rule that you just applied to Mr. Donnelly, that all in all, I do appreciate what you do. I don't think you get appreciated. I know you didn't take the job for the money. I really believe in my heart that probably every one of you up here is wanting to, you took the position of city councilman or mayor or city manager because you wanted to make a difference in your community. You wanted to do something right. And I think it's really important that we do the right thing. And my concern is, though, is that what I've noticed lately is that there seems to be a hostile environment between the citizens and the city leadership. And I pulled some stats up I just wanted to have you listen to here. Anybody can go to this website. It's the Oklahoma Supreme Court Network website. I searched all the records that I knew how to search. If there are other records available, some of you all might be able to pull them. But allow me to read some of the following statistics, and this is as of October 11th, 2015. And it's about the number of court cases that a municipality is involved in, the number of legal issues that they are facing. The city of Shawnee had 4 total that were documented in the OSCN network that I was able to find. Yukon had 10 total. Dale City had 15 appellate cases and 89 cases in the Oklahoma County courts. Moore, Oklahoma had 8 appellate cases. Oklahoma and Cleveland County for the city of Moore had 62 cases. Oklahoma City, one of the largest cities in the country, has 3 and 261 in the Oklahoma and Canadian County courts. Midwest City has a total of 428. Again, Oklahoma City, I don't know the statistic, but I believe they're in the top 10 largest cities in the country. And they have a total of, add them together, 264. And Midwest City has 36 in the appellate courts and 392 in Oklahoma County. And so my concern here is that at what point do we start to look at what it is that we're doing and think maybe we're doing something wrong here? Maybe we need to reconsider our actions. My fear is that taxpayers are ultimately paying for wrong decisions made by the council based on bad counsel. And, you know, as a taxpayer, I want my dollars to go to sanitation, stormwater, fire department, police department. I want it to go here into in my community. I purposely try to spend my tax dollars here in the community.
Mr. Tony, thank you very much for your input, and if you'd provide that information to us, we'd like to look at that, if you would,
Robert,
please.
what was the timeline? What was the date?
This is 10/11/15 is when I pulled this up. It is the Oklahoma Supreme Court Network website.
How far back?
I went back as far as it would take me.
Oh,
So
okay.
over the last.
For everybody, Oklahoma City, Moore, it's an equal statistic. So I pulled the prospective counties or cities county to make it fair.
Thank you, Mr. Tony.
You're welcome.
Anyone else wish to address the council? Looks like retirement.
My name is Rex McGee. I'm at 13166 Fairway Drive, Choctaw, Oklahoma. I spent 29 years at the fire department as a faithful servant of this city. My family has been a member of the city family since 1963. My father was a street department head there since 1963. In direct relation to what Mr. Tony had mentioned about the city not taking care of business, I had to retire in 2012 off the fire department because I had a quadruple bypass. Under state law, if I did not have any cardiac disease whenever I came to work at the fire department, but I developed it over the years, it was presumed that I got it while I was on duty. 3 years post-op, I finally settled with the city for a workers' comp case. And all I had asked for was to have my sick leave. Once I filed an injury report, I was immediately put on sick leave instead of injury leave. 3 years later, after I have to fight with them and go through the workers' comp court, all I had asked for initially was to have my sick leave converted to my injury leave converted to sick leave and pay me the difference, which would have been in the neighborhood of $6,000. The final judgment that I received, and this is not including what the city had hired an outside attorney who fights workers' comp cases, was almost 5 times that. The city spent 5 times the money that they could have just paid me for my sick leave. And that's happened time and time and time again. Now, I find out 2.5 years after I've retired that I have cancer. Well, I've only spent 25 years on the hazardous material team. Cancer is also one of those presumptive laws. And I've contacted members of the administration, and since I've been 2 years past my employment, I can't file a workers' comp case. So now I go down Thursday to have my proton treatment started, because that's the choice that I choose, because it's the least evasive, the most least evasive treatment for cancer therapy. And I have to write a check out of my pocket for $24,000. Yeah, that's coming out of my retirement. So now that I just wanted you to understand, and this has gone on time and time and time and time again. There's been no less than 9 or 10 documented cases that I'm aware of just from the firefighters of cardiac cases that the city decides, the administration decides to fight them through workers' comp, and it would cost them less than half or 20% of what it would going through the cases and the settlements that are paid out through the workers' comp court.
Thank you, Mr. McGee, for bringing that to our attention. Anyone else wish to address the council? Next item is executive session. Discussion and consideration of one, entering into an executive session as allowed under 25 OS 307 B2 to discuss negotiations concerning employees and representative of employee groups. And number 2, in open session, authorizing the city manager to take action as appropriate based on the decision in executive session. Entertain a motion to go to executive session. Motion is second to go to executive session. All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? We'll be in executive session.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Oh, no, I can get one. Yeah, you can.
Billy, did you guard the door?
You ready, Rick? Call the Midwest City Municipal Council back to order. There's no action needed on the executive session. Further information, Mr. Henson?
Okay, you have a proposed ordinance that Councilman McClure has expressed some interest in regarding nuisance houses. Staff is going to be putting together some additional information and be coming back to you with that information in the next meeting or two, okay?
Yeah, and if you guys have any thoughts or ideas, I'd love to hear them, because I want to get something good going. So please let me know if you have any ideas. I'll come see you, call me, email me, whatever.
And then we also had an addendum, I'll go ahead and read that. This is an addendum to the further information part of the agenda. No action can be taken on this. This is kind of the precursor of an item that would show up on the next council agenda. And it's discussion consideration of approving and passing an ordinance amending Chapter 40, Taxation, Article 2, Sales Tax of the Midwest City Code by taking Section 40-45 out of reserve and entitling it Limited Purpose Tax, Sales Subject to Tax 20.25%, which shall provide for the levy of an additional earmarked 0.25% of 1% excise tax to be expended only for the purposes in the manner specified in this ordinance and providing for repeal or inseverability. And the item is on the agenda to provide you an opportunity to discuss your interest in calling a special election for a vote to increase the current sales tax rate by 0.25%. Also attached for your consideration is a form of resolution and a proclamation that would accompany the ordinance on the agenda for the next council meeting if you wish to go forward with calling a special election. And the ordinance basically sets out that out of the 0.25%, 0.16% of that would be reserved and deposited into a public safety fund. And then the balance of that, the 0.9 would go into into the general government capital outlay and operation fund. So that is that item.
Okay. Next item's adjournment. Do I hear a motion? A motion and second to adjourn. All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? I think what's it in reference to? Well, we've already had public discussion, Ms. Barton.
My question is the amendment
comment that was brought up that wasn't part of the agenda. Do you have an explanation on the allocation on the safety funds?
That'll be
That can be
discussed next
given?
time. This is not a public discussion on this
Okay,
item
but my
this time.
question is, do you have that? It wasn't in the back, the addendum wasn't. Do you have
you
it
get with-
available?
If you get with staff,
Website,
if you get with staff, we'll make it available to you.
it is on the website.
And they say
Okay,
it's on the
so the
website.
allocation's on the website?
Yes, ma'am.
Pam,
Yes.
Okay.
I'll get with you. We'll
Okay.
clear it up.
Rhonda, who seconded the motion?
I did.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to adjourn the Midwest City Municipal Council. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That motion carries. We move now to the Midwest City Municipal Authority. We'll call that to order. Consent agenda. These items are placed on the consent agenda so that trustees of the Midwest City Municipal Authority, by unanimous consent, can provide routine agenda items in one motion. If any item proposed on the consent agenda does not meet with the approval of all trustees or members of the audience wish to discuss a proposed item with the council, it'll be removed and heard in regular order.
Move to approve the consent agenda.
Second.
Motion is second to approve the consent agenda. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Is there any new business or public discussion for the Midwest City Municipal Authority?
Move to adjourn.
Motion is second to adjourn. All in favor, say aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Call to order the Midwest City Memorial Hospital Authority. Discussion items. Discussion and consideration of approving the minutes of staff briefing and regular meeting September 23rd, 2015 as submitted.
Second motion.
Motion is second to approve item B1. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Number 2, discussion and consideration of action to reallocate assets, change fund managers, or make changes in the statement of investment policy, guidelines, and objectives. No actions required on that issue. New business or public discussion for the Midwest City Memorial Hospital Authority. And we do not need an executive session, is that correct?
That is correct.
The chair would entertain a motion to adjourn.
Second.
Motion is second to adjourn. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That motion carries. Call to order the Midwest City Economic Development Agenda. Consent agenda, discussion and consideration of approving the minutes of staff briefing of regular meeting July 14th, 2015 as submitted.
Move to approve.
Motion is second to approve. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That motion carries. Item B2, discussion and consideration of accepting the Midwest City Chamber of Commerce quarterly report for the period ending September 30, 2015.
Move to approve.
Motion is second to approve. Item B2, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That motion carries. New business or public discussion for the Midwest City Economic Development Commission. Any new business?
Second.
Motion is second to adjourn. All in favor, say aye. Any opposed? That motion carries. We are adjourned.